You're in a whole nother continent living the good life. So why would you
Right.
know? Anyway, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Try to talk closer to the computer. You sound a little distant.
Is this any better?
Yep. Whatever you're doing, I think you're increasing your
Perfect.
volume.
How's this?
Yes. Is that as loud as it can go?
Nope, I can make it louder. Um,
Perfect. How you sounding?
Perfect. How's this?
Yes. So
Much
as
better?
close as you can get is great. Let me turn the volume up on my end. Can you hear me?
Yep, very, very well.
Perfect. Well,
Okay.
you
Let's do
ready?
it. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. Well, welcome back, good people. It's your girl Irene. Welcome to another dope episode of FSG podcast. And I have a very, very, very special guest. Oh my God. He's like a world traveler aficionado. He's just out here doing big things on the motherland continent. I'm so
Thank you.
very proud of him, my fellow South Florida brother. Yo,
Mm.
yo. I see you,
Yes,
Lauderdale.
yes,
Yo,
yes.
Mr. Darian Moses. Yo,
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm glad to be
absolutely.
here.
As soon as I was like, yo, he's in the States. No, not to my mother continent, but I just want to make sure he has good Wi Fi. I got to get him on the show right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like, I feel like I have a
While
very
getting the
small
good
window.
Wi-Fi. Right. That Wi-Fi window is not the best when you're overseas.
I
So
know it.
anytime I'm here, this is perfect.
I know it. I know it. So I said I had to get you. Welcome to the show. What's going
Thank you,
on?
thank you. I'm glad to be here. This is really cool. I'm glad to be able to chat with you, get a little bit of Africa out of me, share with the peoples.
Yes, you got to share it with the Giggle Gang. This is completely amazing. So yeah, we're gonna get into all of that, but I'm just so happy to have you on the show. Yeah, this is pretty dope. Um, so you've been back for a couple of weeks now, back in the States for a couple of weeks, and we'll get into what you've been doing over the last couple of weeks. But how was your Thanksgiving? What did
Oh
you?
yeah, it was great. It was great. I got to see my family. I haven't seen them in so long. So just seeing my
What's so
grandkids,
long?
at least a year for most of them.
Oh wow,
But some of them like a year and a half, because even before I went to Africa I was living in LA, so I didn't come home before leaving. So like my grandfather, I don't think I've seen him in like almost 2 years. So yeah, it's been a minute, but it was really really beautiful to see my family, to catch up with them, just to be a part of what I know. Like it was
wow,
lovely seeing Africa and being all across the world and like connecting to things that were unfamiliar that felt familiar after a while. But this was like, no, this is home. Like this is the house you used to go to when you're 5. So it was beautiful. All right,
that's
and the food
dope.
was good. Yeah, it was just great. See my mom, my uncles, I saw my dad, my brother, like my whole family's in South Florida, so it was beautiful.
That's what's up. And it just seems like you have such uh, a major appreciation for South Florida because you've been gone so long. Like I can see it in your eyes and your face. Like I ain't never seen nobody this
Look,
happy and excited to talk about South Florida.
I can't get off of 99 jams. And there was a point in
Yo,
my life where I wouldn't even listen. I was like, man, I heard all these songs before, but like to hear I've got my Sean on deck, it just it made my body
wait,
move in a special way.
wait,
Like I
wait.
got back home and I was like, what am I doing? Afro beats are great, but let's never forget the original.
Never, never.
Like,
Whenever I go
yes,
home in
sir.
December, I'm on 99 Jams, Power 96, even Hot 105. Like I'm on all of them. I think it's like a 102.3 or a 10. It's something, but everybody's
Mhm.
always playing the jams.
Yeah, yeah, 102 point
Always.
three. Yep. And it's like I don't like radio in most cities, but Florida and Houston impressed me with
Houston,
their radio.
yes.
I was
Houston.
like, I mean, I left with new artists in my phone. So anytime a
Yeah.
radio puts me in that space, I'm good. But
Okay.
yeah, your boy's
Yeah.
excited.
That's what's up. I see it. I see it. I see it. So yeah, happy belated Thanksgiving.
Thank you. How was
That
yours?
Thanksgiving was kind of low key this year. I was supposed to hang out with some friends for Thanksgiving, and then unfortunately, at the very last minute, the night before Thanksgiving, they had a family emergency and
Okay.
actually had to fly out to Miami to go be with family. So
Okay.
prayers are with my good friend Ivan and Monica, hoping everything is okay. And it's just life is crazy, man. 2018 has been a year. Just oh my god. So I did it kind of pretty dolo. I didn't want to like infiltrate on anyone else's Thanksgiving plans the day before or the night of. So just kind of hung out at the house and then did some Black Friday shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all only for the house though. Like I got
Okay.
some trinkets for the house, like a ring doorbell and a, what is this? A sound bar for the TV,
Mm-hmm.
electronics. Nothing
Oh,
too
yes,
major.
sir. Just
Just
little trinkets for the house.
just a little trinket, little trinket or two.
Yeah, that's
Um,
cool.
so I'm excited about that. I did get some furniture. I got some new living
Nice.
room furniture that won't get here till January, but that's a whole nother. I was like, y'all reeled me in, got me with the good price,
Right. And now
the
I can't
zero
wait till
financing, and
January.
then I can't sit on the couch till January. I
See,
guess it
that's
really is a new year, new me. Sheesh.
exactly right.
I
Start
was
the whole new year
like,
off with a new season.
God. I was like, I
But
can't even get it for Christmas.
see,
So
that
yeah,
hurts my feelings. I don't have the patience for that. I would be like, so what's the cost to express it? I just need to see it. My,
right.
my heart wants to see it in house. Like,
Understand that I went through all of that and there was nothing that they could give me. And it was pretty much either take it or leave it. I'm still going to call
right.
corporate just to see because the deal was too good. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, if you don't want it, 20
Someone
other
else
people will. And I'm
will.
like,
Right.
really?
Right.
Really? So,
See, that's that American feeling. Like when I want it, damn it, I want it. I
right.
want it now.
I want it right now. But,
Right now.
so
But
yeah, that was it. And then last night, Friday night, a friend of mine invited me to a show with for a group named Future Band DC,
okay.
which is a really dope band. They're like, I want to say they have like a go-go feel, but they're real DC. And they had an album release yesterday. Actually went to the album listening party last Sunday, so we decided to go support them last night. Really dope show. Really, I love music, love live music. So
Mm-hmm.
my Friday was definitely better than my Thanksgiving. So I was glad I was able to recoup because it was kind of like, damn, I'm in the house by myself.
I ain't did nothing.
I ain't do nothing. This is weird. But it's all good. I made up for it last night. So
The weekend is all Thanksgiving to me.
yes, it's all Thanksgiving. Exactly. Are you doing anything after we're done chopping it
Um,
up? Like,
I'll go hang with my mom. We're gonna go get some
okay,
lunch or do something cool. Like I was the same opposite. Yesterday I did nothing because I was hanging out and being with family all day Thursday. And so yeah, people going back to work on Monday, but
right.
I'll still be here just hanging out. So like, let me take advantage of
You
the
got
time
to.
with my family and friends before they all go back. So next week I'll just kick it, but I'm trying to have like lunches and kick it with my family before Monday comes around.
Okay. I feel you. I feel you. All
I
right,
gotta pack
cool.
my time in. I'm on a schedule. So
Exactly. You got to make sure. That's why I'm like, let me get to it. Get to the meat, Irene. Okay.
no,
So,
no, no, no. This
no,
is
no, no.
fine. I mean,
Okay.
I'll be here until December 11th, so we got time. But
Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
what's
I want
up.
to make
Damn,
sure
you
I get
leaving
here that
before
December.
Christmas.
I am. It's gonna be rough, but I got Thanksgiving in. I figure one holiday is cool.
Hey, do what you do. Do what you do. All right, cool, cool, cool. So go ahead and get into the show. FSG, I love all things ridiculous or most things ridiculous because I can be ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for you. With all of the traveling that you have done, not just on the continent of Africa, but throughout the world,
Mm-hmm.
what's the most ridiculous thing you've done at an airport?
At an airport.
At an airport,
Oh,
like you yeah, what's the most ridiculous thing that you've had to do or endure or you saw or what have you at an airport?
um, I mean, it's probably gonna be like really. It sounds stupid on the outside, but like in the moment, it was ridiculous. And I mean, basically, I was in Italy and I didn't have any SIM card there, so I had no way of contacting my homeboy who I was staying with. So I arrived in Italy via train from France like a week ago, or not a week, probably like this was right before I came back, so probably about 5 6 weeks ago.
Mm,
And I was like, wait a minute, how am I gonna call this guy? Like, I can't let him know I'm here. I don't know how to get in touch with him. So I'm looking around. There's no payphones in this in this airport. So I'm like, all right, well, I can get on Wi-Fi, do a Google Hangout call or whatever. For some reason, I'm not able to get on any Wi-Fi. And I'm moving throughout this airport with all of my bags. Because remember, I'm just coming back from Africa. So I have all my bags with me. And I'm
right.
just maneuvering through this massive airport slash train terminal. And it just got to a point where it was like, I don't know how to get in touch with him. And so I went. First, I couldn't get on Wi-Fi, so I had to walk outside with my bags and walk around the city trying to find some place with all these bags to get Wi-Fi. And I did find a coffee shop eventually. Called him, let him know where I was, but he was like, "Yeah, I'm at the train station. You got to come back to the train station." So, I mean, it had to at least be an hour and 20 minutes of walking around. I'm sweating like crazy. I got bags. I
Oh,
got a backpack on me that's like 80 pounds. I got three huge bags. And I just look crazy. I look insane. And I'm marching all across Italy, asking people questions. Nobody speaking English. And all of this because I didn't manage to get a Wi-Fi or a SIM card before getting into the country.
so
And
what did you learn in that experience?
preparation is very important. That because you land in Ghana and it's just like it's a SIM card on every corner. Ain't nobody
Right.
telling me. Like I don't have to look for a SIM card. The SIM card finds me. But the Western world don't work like that. Ain't nobody standing on the corner trying to give you all the hustle and bustle. You got to go to a Vodacom shop and they'll help you if you want some help. So I had to learn really quickly to be a bit more prepared for where I'm landing, especially carrying all that luggage. I mean, I couldn't even call it Uber. I had nothing to do because I
That's
didn't
why
have
I'm
Wi-Fi.
confused because you said you were in Italy, right?
Yes,
I would just assume that at any airport, there would be a place for you to be able to purchase.
there was Wi-Fi purchasable. Like I just for some reason my phone wouldn't connect to it, but there was Wi-Fi in the terminal. There was Wi-Fi in the terminal. There was like two restaurants in the terminal, and it just kept saying can't connect to this network. What it also does require in Europe, and I noticed this in France, the public Wi-Fi requires you to send or receive a text message or receive an email to confirm.
But
But
you
if you
don't
don't
have a
have
SIM card. And that's what
exactly,
I'm saying. I would just assume, I just feel like there should be a place that sells SIM cards. There should
so
have been a place that sold SIM cards at the airport for that
I
very
found
reason.
so I found a place that did, but they required like a 2 month contract. Like they didn't have any of the like quick right. Like it
What?
wasn't like in Africa you just bought a SIM card and bought data. Here it was like, well, you
You
have
got
to
to go
sign.
through
We
this?
need your passport. We need to sign you up for at least a 2 month plan, but we can give you like the first month you can pay for it, and then you'll pay for this. It's like I'm gonna be here for 2 weeks. What are y'all talking about?
And like, I'm not, I don't need
But
all of that.
I really started to also believe my lack of Italian speaking, and they're like Italians speak English, but it's not like being in Paris or being in other like I would say 60% of the people I met could not speak Italian. I mean, could
Really?
not speak English. A
Oh,
lot of
they
people
couldn't speak English.
and if they spoke English, it was very like hi, bye, thank you, no. So she probably thought I meant like I'm about to be here for a while because we tried to communicate for like 20 minutes and
Hmm.
saying that I'm gonna be here for 2 weeks. I just need a quick card. She was like, no, we don't do that. We need to sign you up for a plan. So that's when I ended up leaving the terminal itself and walking out. But yeah, it was a very like I don't think I've been that frustrated in any particular country. And then when I finally got with my homeboy, he was like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, if you just text, like, there's no way that they didn't have a month to month or like a little quick SIM card you can buy. Like, you just don't know how to speak Italian. And you probably didn't articulate what you wanted right.
Yeah,
But
because
like,
that
he
is
laughed at me
just,
for a while. I was sweating like crazy. He was like waiting on me, trying to figure out why it was taking me so long to come out. It was just a huge. And I'm like, I've navigated all these countries by myself, and logistically, I've been all right. How did this become my biggest mess up? But
yeah, like I'm so confused.
I was very tempted to put my suitcase back on my head and carry it like I had been doing because it was so heavy. But I was like, these people in Italy, I don't think they're gonna take me too seriously if
Yeah,
I
that if you do that, they're
walking through the
not
market square with this thing on my head. So yeah,
looking
it
real
was crazy because
African.
like talking about it now, I'm like, that wasn't that crazy. But I mean, I just felt so helpless at the airport. I mean, I went into Sephora, I went into everything they have. I was like, can I get on your Wi-Fi? Because the one outside isn't working. And they were just like, no Wi-Fi.
No, no, no
Like,
Wi-Fi.
I
Damn.
never felt so defeated in a Western civilization.
Well,
But
I mean, it's to be
took me an hour
expected.
and a half, but we got it.
I'm glad that you prevailed. Oh wow. Okay. I can
It
just
was a mess.
imagine. I know you were stressed out.
I just couldn't
Um,
believe I couldn't figure it out. Like I'm normally 99% able to get everything I need figured out within a few minutes. And that was just like either you really slow right now, you tired of traveling, like
right.
something's not clicking.
Something is not clicking.
Didn't get it.
Well, I wish you the best next time.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome.
Wow.
As far as current events and water cooler notes this week, don't really have much because it's a short week from the last recording,
Yes.
and everybody's been focused on Thanksgiving.
Yes.
But I do want to give a shout out to Disney. and The Lion King. They released the first trailer of the new 2019 live action Lion King,
Mhm.
which I'm still not 100% clear of how it's going to look. I
Okay.
just know that Donald Glover, Beyonce, um, what's the other the voice of Mufasa,
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones, are all going to be are all on the in the movie. So let's see, Woody the Great posted it. So yeah, I just know that Beyonce is playing Nyla. Um, let's see. James Earl Jones is back as Mufasa. Seth Rogen is Pumbaa. Who else do I care about? Chidaway. I should know how to say his
I
name.
know exactly who
I
you're
should
talking
know how to
about.
say his name correctly. Irene, get it
Can't say his
together.
name.
He's playing Scar.
Okay.
Um, Donald Glover is playing Simba. Alfred Wooder is playing Sarabi. So it's pretty dope.
Nice cast,
I'm
yeah.
curious to see how it looks because Disney has been doing this live action thing for the
Yeah.
last. I think they did Beauty and the Beast live action, and there's another one that they did live action. I know I saw it because I'm a bit of a Disney kid,
Mhm.
adult, or what have you. So, and of course, anything with Beyonce in it, I'm like, well,
Right, right.
it's a stamp of approval. That's golden.
That's yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm on my way to stand I think. So yeah, I'm all about it. I'm all about
Oh,
it.
on your way, do tell.
Oh, you know, I'm just saying,
I'm listening. What's
yeah,
up?
I was blessed to go to a Beyonce concert in
Mhm,
2014
mhm.
for free with my job. And
Oh
prior
well,
to, I always thought she was like, she's just cool. She's Beyonce. She's great. She's a
yeah.
good singer. She looks good. She's music. But then, these tickets were laying on my desk, and I'm playing it off in the office like, man, I'm doing these tickets. I'm about to sell these on eBay or whatever. My coworkers was like, fool, if you don't get up and get to this concert and like
Seriously, what are
be
you
there
doing?
early. So I get to the concert and
Was
like
this on the run? The first one?
this was Beyonce when it was like just the pink,
Okay,
just her name.
okay, okay.
And I was like, okay, this is cool. I get in and like I don't think I've been to a concert in like 5 years. I couldn't believe how people were like, first of all, everybody was dressed like her. I was like,
Yes,
oh, people like dress like Beyonce when they go to her concert.
yes,
But then like the level of standing up, cheering, they were singing the songs and she hadn't even come out yet.
yeah.
And
It's an experience.
when she came out, I was still sitting down. And literally a woman grabbed my arm and was like, you better get up and stand up for
Yes, it's
Beyonce.
like church. Now you heard, Pastor. Get
You
up.
see the pastor coming in the room, you better
You
stand up and give
stand up.
reverence.
Get on your feet.
But by the end of it, I think I was pretty much like jumping out my skin. I was like, I've never seen a human be like
Yeah,
create and do all this stuff and like do it flawlessly. And
yeah,
she's actually singing
yeah,
and it's not a robot. Like, yeah. And then just from there, my infatuation has grown. And
yeah,
so yeah, now I'm really all about anything that she touches. Like
yeah.
she can do no wrong.
I would like to call that being a stan. You're there. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a stan. People have this misconception of stan. Oh, they like to preface,
Because I'm
oh, well, I'm not a stan.
material.
You are. See, the things that it's the crazy rabid stands that turn people away. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
no,
The
it's the
ones who
young
are
ones that
fighting
have,
people online.
yeah, that
Yeah.
just crazy. It's like, why did you just curse that person's unborn child? Like, what's wrong with
Exactly.
you?
That's what I think of when
That's
I
what it is. It's there's good and bad to everything.
You're so
Like,
right.
you know what I
So
mean?
I'm a good
So as
stand.
long as you just identify yourself as a stan with reason, like,
Yes.
yeah,
I like that. I'm a good stand with reason.
exactly. That's it. And
So
anything that you
yeah.
don't like about Beyonce, just don't ever post it online. Just
No, keep
keep
it
it
within. It's
within
probably
you or
something
within
within
other
you
stands.
that makes you not like it about her. It's not her. It's
Exactly.
something about you.
Exactly. You had an off day,
Yeah.
like you
Your
trying to get,
interpretation of reality is pretty, you
yeah,
having a bad week.
it's questionable. Like it's never Beyonce is pretty much what we're saying.
Never.
So I'm
So
glad that
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Darien,
No,
this
I
is
had to walk into that. That was a big aha for me. Like,
no,
wow,
seriously. A lot of people
going through
don't
her
know.
discography, and I didn't even know that I liked her back in 2010. But I
I'm
guess
trying
I
to
do.
tell
I know
you.
all the words to this song.
You do. You
I know
do.
words.
Beyonce has done nothing to nobody.
She's
Just
just
love
stressed us
her.
all out. Just love her. Just love her.
Just love her.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. So
There's
I'll take
nothing.
on the stand title. I will be intrigued to see how they utilize her greatness within that movie.
Yes, I'm definitely excited about that. So yes, congrats, and welcome to the standum. Welcome,
I
welcome,
feel welcome.
welcome.
I feel like it's a space I should belong.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna get into your business, Mr. Book of
Yeah, yeah,
Moses
yes.
on Instagram, world traveler. You know, people following you and gawking after your next move. Like, what's going on? Where's he at
Right. Where
today?
you at next?
What
What's the
country is he
movie?
in today? Like, he taking over the whole continent. So,
That's my goal. That's my goal.
listen. So we're gonna get to that. So go ahead and tell the listeners, like, just give us a little bit of your story, your background, like where you're from, what you did, what made you decide to go out and travel the continent, and what exactly is it that you're doing? Like,
Yes.
have you relocated? Like,
Yeah.
just take us down this wonderful story because I know it's gonna be great. I'm gonna shut up and listen intently. Your turn. Go ahead.
Well, feel free to interrupt. Let me know if I'm rambling too much because it's so much to lay out. But I'll do my best to keep it concise.
Okay.
So yeah, starting I guess from my corporate start. I went to FAMU, did the 5 year MBA, hopped right into like corporate America
Shout
back
out
in
to the Rattlers.
2008. Oh yeah, the Rattlers be on point. After that good old Wall Street internship, I was like, man,
Listen,
let me take one of these good old paying 6 figure jobs.
right,
So,
right. Rattlers,
I
well, I
really,
tell you, FAMU.
we make it look so easy.
We really
We
do.
make it
But you
look
people do
so
not know the struggle that you have to endure.
to make it off of the 7 hills.
Seriously.
But when you get off, it sets you right. It sets you
It
right.
really does. You
So
can take over anything. But yeah, anyway.
anything. So yeah, I went to PNG, worked there for like 4.5 years, and that was actually the first time. So this is truly the second time I've like dropped life and been like, I'm done with this shit. Oh, I'm done. So I definitely left PNG after 4.5 years because I got an opportunity to go sing overseas,
I
and
remember that.
yeah, like it was a real weird place in life because I was so like everything was going great. I was making great money, living on South Beach. Like I couldn't complain about anything, but I was not fulfilled. I was sitting in that desk every day, like, Lord, I know you ain't made me for this. What am I supposed to be doing? Because this is gonna be
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I got this opportunity to go sing overseas, and right at the time, my company was doing voluntary layoffs. So they weren't laying people off, but you can raise your hand and say I want to go, and they would
Mm.
give you the same as a package. So I was like, yeah, let me take that package and move right over to Europe. So I left, and it was cool being able to separate from my job for a little while. I was gone for 11 months out of corporate America, just traveling, saving money, and singing for
Oh
3 of those
wow.
11.
Did
But
your package cover that entire 11 months?
man, look here, PNG set me right.
What?
Like I left, I worked, and then I made money while I was traveling on the tour. So I sung for 3 months, and then for the next 8, I literally just moved to LA and balled out like I had a job because I was like, I ain't got nothing else to do with my time and this money. So
Live life.
but I look at it back and I'm like, I can't even tell you how much money I spent in those 8 months because I wasn't living modestly. I was still paying like a ridiculous car note. I went and got a flossy apartment. I was
Oh my
traveling I was doing the stupidest things with no job. But
nigga.
right, please say it louder. So yeah, I got another job and I started working. I worked for Nike in LA, which was amazing. And that was another 4.5 years. But I got to a point where I was like, something's got to shift. And thinking it was another job, I went on vacation to South Africa last year. When I got to Africa, I was like, this is it. Like, this is the shift. Forget another company. I want to be in another continent. I want to be around Black people. I want to feel this type of energy. So I got back, and I remember sitting at my desk the first day back from Africa. That was March of 2017. I was like, nope, can't do it anymore.
Oh.
This is it. I got to get out of here. And so I woke up in the middle of the summer one day, that summer 2017, and like I had a dream about going to Africa. And I kept having this dream about missing a flight to Africa. Kind of
Oh.
like, you need to go. And the dream was like not a pleasant, it was a scary dream. I would be like running to the airport, sweating, carrying bags, looking like I did in Italy. And all of a sudden, like I would get to the gate and they'd be like, doors closed, you can't get on, no more flights tomorrow. It's forever done. And it
Oh.
was always a dream. And I'd look at the ticket and it was to Africa. And so I woke up after that dream. It was like the third or fourth time I had the dream, and I was like, I need to go. And I bought a one-way ticket, having no plan, no nothing. But I bought a one-way ticket for December in June, and I was like, if I can't go, then I just lost the money. But if I can, like, I'm investing in this dream now.
I remember because didn't you not necessarily count down, but like we all knew when you were about to leave.
Yeah,
Like it was like, okay, did you leave after Christmas?
I left the day. I left Christmas Day. I left
Yeah.
Christmas Day. And it was funny because, like, social media is public. So my coworkers are watching me talk about, I'm about to quit my job and move to Africa. I got all people in the office like, Darien, are you leaving? What's going on? And I was just like, nah, well, Jen, let me tell you, I'm black and I've never lived in a country where I was the majority. So I'm going to go see what that feels like.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about, Darian.
Like, I remember, and every time I looked them in the eye and was like, I got something better. It's called Africa. Like, they would just be like, why would you quit this beautiful job and life? And like, because I feel better with black people. And even
Yeah.
saying it out loud, it's like, wow, that's nerve-wracking to say to a white person in a corporate office. But it's
Yeah.
like, I like getting up and hanging around people that look like me more than hanging around you all day. And
Period.
period. There's no apology for that. I don't have to make
I
you
don't
understand.
dislike you, but I'd rather be over here
I've,
with my
I've been
kind.
with you all my life in various ways. I've been with your cousins. I've been with your aunties. I've been with you all my life. I'm gonna go be my cousins now. I'm gonna be with my aunties. So
Right.
yeah, I hopped on a one-way ticket and
And
I
you went
remind
back to South Africa
I went back to South Africa. I was able to finagle my job to letting me work remotely instead of just having to quit while I was in South Africa.
because you went to FAMU and you from South Florida.
Hey, I mean, I
Listen,
literally
ain't
had to leave.
nobody better at the finesse. Ain't nobody better at the finagle
You
than a
can't.
black person from South
You
Florida. Okay,
can't beat us. It's
you
not
just can't.
possible.
You can't. And then you
You
went to
can't.
fam. It's done.
You
All
have
right.
too much finesse in your soul.
It's
Like
just not possible.
you can't lose.
You
And it's
can't.
not that you're trying to play nobody. Like I didn't have to get crazy with it. I actually told them I'm gonna quit. I was like, I am ready to quit. I need to go deal with family matters in Africa. And they were like, what do you mean by family matters? I'm like, the family I never met. I found them. I need to go reload. I need to reconnect. I was like,
Stop asking me personal ass questions. I said family matters. That's it.
exactly. But then right before I was leaving, my boss calls me and she's like, we didn't find anyone to replace you yet. I was like, well, I gave you 4 months notice. I don't know what to say. She
Right.
was like, well, can you stay? We'll pay for your tickets to be canceled. Well, whatever. We need you to stay. I was like, I'll work remotely. Let's see what that's talking about. And that was a yes. So I got to work while traveling. So it really was a blessing, like how everything fell into place. And so, yeah, I left December 25th. I went with my mom. She came, some of my friends, some cousins came, and I celebrated my 33rd birthday in Afro Punk in Joburg with like all my friends and family.
That
And it
is
was
such a
just,
beautiful thing. Oh my
I
God.
was in tears for like 2 days. I just couldn't believe how beautiful it was. Like, and just seeing like the people, like South Africa is such a transformative country. And so to see Afropunk there, I had never been to an Afropunk,
Mm-hmm.
and just people being free, but also like their freedom wasn't in just like the American version of freedom. Like I'm walking, people are making their own versions of Zulu attire, like traditional things, but modernizing it. And like people are just expressing themselves in a way I've never seen because I've never been in Africa really. So to see like the African expression of Afro punk was like I loved it, and it just
Wow.
set off the year. And so after a few weeks, my mom and everybody else left, and I was like, damn, I'm here in this foreign country by myself with no plan. But yeah, I walked up to a leasing office. I got a dope apartment for $500 a month.
I saw it and I said,
Yo,
listen,
that
y'all don't understand. I have been in Darian's emails. I mean, DMs. I have been in his DMs for all year. Like, so
like
tell me more. So where is that? Like these
the
MTV
view,
Cribs type
it don't make
venues.
sense.
I'm like, yo, this pad looks like MTV Cribs. He's
For
like, yeah, it's like $2 a month. What?
Yo, I'm telling you, I stayed in some of the dopest spots, and I literally have not paid more than $100 a night anywhere. The most expensive Airbnb I had was $80 a night, and that one was 4 stories with 5, 6 bedrooms, a rooftop pool, rooftop jacuzzi. Like
What?
it made no sense. I could have hosted at least 100 people to sleep in that house if I wanted to. It was probably 5,000 square feet for $80 a night during Christmas time. Once
What?
it's about $40 a night. So I was paying premium at 80. Like this is what I mean. Africa is so cheap, but it's so beautiful. And I couldn't believe that like I'm over here, you go to Europe, you paying $200-300 a night for a nice hotel in Paris.
Right.
For $80, not only am I comfortable, but six of my friends are comfortable. And then the 30 South Africans I met at Afropunk are comfortable. And we over here cooking and grilling out at 4 in the morning. Like it turned into something completely different than I expected right off the bat. And from there, I found a 6 month lease down there. I made a whole gang of friends. I started kicking it. I started singing and performing live.
I
Like,
saw. I'm like, this nigga done went down there and became damn Ruben
oh,
Studdard. Like,
everything. I mean, I was like, I'm gonna do everything I know how to do in this little 3 month span because I didn't know. I thought I was gonna go back in 3 months, and
yes, we all
so
did.
yeah, my job did too. So everybody thought I was coming back, and then after the 3 months, I was like, "There's no way. I need more time. I need more time." So that 3 months turned into an 11-month journey across 9 countries. Really going across South Africa, Lesotho, Swaziland, Zimbabwe, Kenya, and then I went up to West Africa and,
Yes.
and really saw my people. And went to
Yes.
Nigeria, Lagos.
Tell them
I
who
was
got the
in
best food
Kenya.
though. Tell them who
Look,
got the
look,
best
look,
food.
look, look, look.
Let's talk. Let's talk.
Nigerians
Let's
got
go.
it. I'm not about to even go back and forth
Let's go.
because people love the jollof is better in Nigeria to
Uh-huh.
me because it's spicy.
It's
I
just better in general.
it,
God
you
said
know,
so.
the name gives you that mild curry-esque spice. Like
That's not
there's a
jollof
spice
rice.
here,
That
but
ain't
I
jollof
want it
rice.
to almost burn my mouth after I've chewed it. It's not that immediate spice, but it comes later,
Yeah.
and that's what I got in Nigeria. Like, and I like Nigerian food better. I
Is
can't
it?
lie.
Can
I
you
like Nigerian
can you
food
say that
better.
again louder? With
Nigerian food wins between Ghanaian and Nigerian food to the American.
yes. Well,
That's it
that's
is.
y'all heard it here, folks.
It is,
Not
man.
me.
The
Not another
Nigerian food,
Nigerian.
them,
Darien from Fort
and
Lauderdale. I'm just saying.
I
Like
am
it's
not from Nigeria. I did not know what igusi was less than six
you was
months
up there
ago.
with that goosey soup.
Oh, the croaker fish, the pepper
Oh,
soup.
oh, pepper soup.
I
Yeah,
ate
yeah.
so much okra stew, like everything. I love it. I love Nigerian food. It's just bomb and it's healthy for you.
Yep.
I mean, your boy was losing weight. I was looking buff. I was like, yo, I'm not even working out. This is some Spider-Man shit. Like, I'm literally just out here eating,
Some
being an
Spider-Man shit.
African, and my body is just,
Yeah,
it's getting better.
yeah.
So yeah, the food was amazing, but it just turned into this continual journey. And the best part of it was it wasn't planned. So each country I went to was like, all right, where can I go for less than a 12-hour ride and less than $150? And I just kept connecting country to country to country. But it was never like a long list of places I wanted to hit or I
Right.
wanted to see this monument. I mean, I was in bushes, villages with my homeboys, cousins. They'd be like, you want to go see a village? Yep. I got an auntie to live out. Okay, let's go. And I would stay with auntie for like 3 or 4 days. I learned to pound fufu. Like I learned so many random
You are
things.
so African.
Oh
This
yes,
nigga pounding
yes,
fufu.
yes,
Yo,
yes. I can make fufu now, literally like in multiple ways. You want the pounded yam, you want the cassava and the plantain,
look
like
at
which way
you.
you want, I can make it.
Look at you.
So yeah, like I really got to feel what it felt like to be an African. I mean, because the Airbnb experiences are beautiful and those are nice, but that's not the life most people are living. And so,
Right.
like, especially in Zimbabwe, I stayed with a family. Most of the times I was in various countries outside of South Africa, I was staying with families. So,
Okay.
and all families of just friends that I met on the journey who were like, yo, you want a real experience? I got a cousin out there. I got an auntie out there. I got somebody, yeah, and they will let you stay. And I mean, people wouldn't even accept money after having me for a week. Like I'm
Yeah, they
slipping
don't.
money into under their pillows and stuff because
Yeah,
they were
they.
just like, nah, what we have is yours. You come in, hang out. You my cousin's friend. Like you, yep.
Oh, that is so dope.
It was. I tell you, like everybody, I've been talking about it since I've been back. People like, you weren't scared, you didn't get robbed, nobody, you didn't have no danger moments. I'm like, the most danger I had was walking around blindly in Italy. Like I had not
Listen,
one moment
Darren. Oh my God.
where anybody tried me, anybody made me feel unsafe. I didn't have
Thank
anything
you.
stolen. I'm leaving thousands of dollars of equipment in villages for 2 days to go out and be in the bush and coming back and all my stuff is folded neatly, not one thing missed. Like people
Thank
have the
you for
worst concept
saying
of the
that.
hospitality of Africa.
They really do. Like I remember from the time being at FAMU, being a student at FAMU, and just talking to roommates, and they would be like, this is when I first got the notion that Black people in America they've been brainwashed to think that
Yes.
Africa is this terrible place to go to. So I'll never forget this story. It was me and one of my roommates. We were talking about traveling, and I think I was getting ready to go to Nigeria with the family, and we were just talking about traveling. And she was like, "Yeah, I want to go to Europe," and she's naming all these countries in Europe. Italy, France, Spain, this, that, and the other. And I was like, do you want to, do you think you'll ever go to Africa? Like, you can go to Nigeria, you can go to South Africa, you can go to Ghana, Liberia. And she was like, no, like, I just don't feel safe there. And I said, hmm. I said, well, have you ever been to Italy? She was like, no. I was like, oh, so what makes you feel safe in Italy, but not Africa? And she couldn't answer. Like, she literally couldn't answer. And we had a real tough, not a tough conversation, but a real conversation. I was like, yeah, you might want to just be mindful of that. Like, you have these misconceptions, right? You have these misconceptions of this continent, and you don't even know why you have this misconception. I actually had a conversation like this more recently with a friend of mine that was like, oh, I don't want to go to Nigeria. I would rather go to a country like South Africa. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, but why? And I was like, is it because Nigeria is not sexy enough for you or what have you? And she was like, no, it's not that. And I was like, I think it is. Like, I get it. Like, me being a Nigerian, of course, I'm going to be hypersensitive to someone saying they don't want to go to Nigeria, right?
Right.
But why do you want to go to another country? Because you want to go to Kenya because Barack is from there? You want to go to South Africa because, you've seen all this stuff on television? Like, just say what it is, because I get it. Like, you don't know about it, so it's not sexy to you. And I get it, but I'm telling you that you should try it out. Like, just try it out. Like, nothing bad is going to happen to you. And with you can go to Miami and get robbed. You can come to DC and get robbed.
I tell people, I'm like, do you not know that you live in the most dangerous country in the world?
You in the most dangerous.
In the most dangerous.
The fact that I walk down the street and when I see a cop with a gun, I am frightened.
Yep.
Because I don't know if that cop is crazy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he can just pull out his gun and shoot me and may not ever see the inside of a jail cell. Like, those are literally the thoughts that come in my mind. When I'm in Nigeria and I see those guys, those cops with those big ass guns, I feel safe.
They come up to me and joke with me.
Yeah, because I know they're not going to shoot me.
No, they have no problem.
I know that for a fact.
I feel safer because he's there.
Yes, I know that for a fact.
Yes. They're going to look at me like, when I see cops in other countries, Ghana and Nigeria probably were the most where cops interacted with me, because they can tell I'm not from there.
Right.
That's the one thing Africans know.
They can smell it on you, like, right? Nope, yeah. And you can wear, not to discredit, but you don't have to be like dressed to the not, like, you could just be as low key sweats, some Nikes, not even no flat fashion, not no heat. Just some regular,
no jewelry,
nothing. And they like, yeah, you're a Yankee. Yeah, you are from the States. I know. Yeah, you came to see your people. And it's like, wait, how do you? And my cousin, the last time I was there, was like, they can tell, like, they can see it in your skin. They can see.
That's what it is.
They can tell that you probably live a good life, better than you did.
I was like, how do you know? Because like, I had to ask, and when I was in our emo state, everybody kept saying, I was at my friend Michelle's family's wedding, and everybody kept saying, I know you're not from here. And one lady, I was like, how do you know? She was like, your teeth.
Yeah.
I was like, really? She was like, teeth, eyes, how white your eyes. Like, we can tell who's been here just because we have certain characteristics that you will get from living in Africa. From living in Nigeria versus Ghana. Like, we can the small details. I can tell you that if you're Benin or Togo, like, we just know. So
they just know.
You're not from here.
Yeah. They told me, they were like, we can tell from your skin and your hair. And I was like, what? So like, when my cousins would take me to the market, they'd be like, do not say anything. I will speak for you. Because as soon as you open your mouth, you are going to pay.
And you are not from here.
Right. You are going to pay 10 times what they were good at. Because Nigerians get you now. Now we some slicksters. Don't get it twisted. That's the thing. Like, You got to be
I couldn't
careful.
believe the
Like,
hustle in Nigeria. Like
listen,
when I did go to the market to get fabrics, like I went with my friend's friend and she lives there, and she was just like, look, don't speak, don't say a word. She walked in, and I could have sworn the ladies was gonna fight, but
yeah,
then it was her hugging by the end of it.
yeah,
The way that she negotiated
got
for
to,
those fabrics,
got
like,
to.
why are you doing this to me, my sister? I come to you 5 times a week. You
Yes,
come every, come
every
on now,
day, every day
every
I give
day.
you money. Yeah, yeah,
I bring you business. And
yes,
I was like, you can't talk to her like that.
yes, you can because they
Not
both
only can
know
you,
because
they
they
got
both
$3 off of every one of our orders, and
exactly
they got lunch together afterwards.
because
I was
they
like,
both knew that y'all weren't walking out of there without the product.
exactly.
Like at the end of the day, you're not going to walk out of there without the product because
Nope.
the lady who was selling wants to get the sale, but the lady, your friend and you who are buying, you don't want to disrespect them by going through all that, and you don't. So
I don't
there's
know
going to be
how
a
to.
compromise. There's going to
Yes.
be a compromise. A sale is going to be made, and everybody's going to be happy.
But it
Period.
was so turned up. And I was like, yo, this is how, like, people be thinking black people just aggressive and angry. I'm like, you just don't
No,
understand. This is the
this
mode
our
of communication, but
this
it is
how we
not
talk.
out of anger.
It's
Nobody's
not.
mad. Nobody's
Nobody's
mad.
upset.
If anything, we all walked away smiling. I had my product. I paid what I wanted to pay. And like, you just got to see, first of all, like, most of the business people are women. And watching these women negotiate in their own way, because
Yep.
two men with that kind of energy, somebody getting mad now. But the way the women were, I was like, yo, this is a whole nother level of communication. Like, I love this.
Yep.
This is business in Africa.
Plays
Like,
no
it was
games.
bomb. I loved it. Like, it showed me so many various ways that, like, we as black people have so much fire and life in us, and every
Mm-hmm.
country is different in culture and how we appreciate each other and approach each other. But nobody felt out of line with how we are in America. African Americans are more like, we got soul. We have something else in us. And
Yep.
when I saw that over there, I was like, yeah, this is just in the soul and veins of black people. Like, we come this way, and it's beautiful when we have the space to do it without having to apologize and without having to shrink into, oh well, let me tuck this in for these 9 to 5 hours. Like, no, this is how I do business. This is how I go to church. This is how I am, and it's fine because everybody else accepts it.
It's just an amazing thing to see and be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'm so ahead. You are so African, bruh. I love it. You are so
Ah,
Nigerian.
yes.
Yo, okay, okay. So you mentioned that you've been to 9 countries, and I
Yes.
believe you've spent most of your time in South Africa, correct?
Yes. More
Uh,
than
would
any other one.
would you
Yeah.
say that's where like you're based, or are you going back to South Africa when you?
So I'm going back in December, but I'm moving to Ghana.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so South Africa was the start just because that was my introduction to Africa. And to
okay.
be honest, for most people going, unless you're a very like adventurous traveler, open to all types of experiences,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like South Africa is a good starting point to like ease into African culture.
Because it's very
Like
westernized, I
it's
heard.
very Western. Like when I was in Zimbabwe, I had friends who came to visit me there and literally got on a plane by going to the airport and demanding you send me home because they were so appalled by like the fact that there were no ATMs and they couldn't get cash and they didn't have their cards weren't swiping and like it was like I'm scared now. I have no
I
access to
remember you were
cash.
talking
Yeah.
about that, like the banks were closed, and I think people were on strike or something like that, or
A
the
whole
government
bunch.
fired people. Like, what was going on in Zimbabwe? Like
So
that, because it was a complete 180 from like your other experiences,
exactly.
and I was like, oh, Darien is some shit. Like,
And that's what when I like, it's not that I think South Africa is better than other countries, but you will never have those experiences down there. Like
right.
it's Western. Whereas like you got to prepare yourself for that type of shit. Like that feels crazy because I was so in Zimbabwe they have something called a cash crisis, and it's like it's been going on for almost 3 4 years now. And basically the government has restricted the flow of physical bills in the country. So meaning there's no more bills being printed and no more US dollar. They have these bond notes that are trying, there's like monopoly money that you can only use in the country. It doesn't transfer anywhere else, but they try to use that as a currency tender. But they need US physical dollars because that's their currency. And we have not given them any physical bills for like, I think it's 10 years. So they've
What?
gotten down to this cash crisis where there's no bills circulating in the country. So what the government has done is created this like phone-based pay system called EcoNet, and you basically link this phone to your bank account, and you pay for everything through the phone. Well, that works if you're a resident, but I can't open a bank account in Zimbabwe, so I can't use EcoNet. So I need physical cash, or I need to be able to swipe my card. When I tell
What
you,
the?
I've never seen so many people begging for cash in my life. And these aren't people without money. You could have $10,000 in your bank account. Your bank, if you go to any ATM in the entire country, will have no cash. No ATMs throughout the entire 6 weeks I was there had any cash for anyone. It wasn't just me. I would go to 30 ATMs in one day, all out of order. What people do is stand, they have to get the cash from the banker and the teller. They get in line at like 3 in the morning for a bank that opens at 8. When the doors open, I've been there to see it. The women will come out and say, "Hi, one, either today we have no cash, or we got cash in today. We have enough to give 100 people $50 max." Or like, there's never more than $50 you can get out of your account in one day because
What?
there's just no physical cash to circulate. Banks run out of cash every day.
So are people? So are you saying that if I put my money in the bank last year,
Yep.
I can't get my money because
Nope.
they have basically they've fucked it off? Like I'm
Nope. There's not enough cash. There's no cash. It's all virtual money at this point.
So was there a point where people knew that this was happening and they pulled all their money out beforehand? Like, did people ever have an opportunity to prepare?
No. Well, actually, there's a very large conspiracy that it was government induced. So this EcoNet company that the people all have to use, the phone banking, has a
Right.
fee for everything. Every transaction, there's a slight fee, there's a monthly fee, there's all these fees. The former president and government co-owned the plan, the EcoNet program. And so there was also a raid in January in the
What?
former president's son-in-law's house, and they found 89 million US dollars in cash
Are
in
you
trunks,
what?
like physically cash, not even in his bank account. He had $89 million of cash in his house, and that was
Bruh.
just one family member. So, yeah, I don't think it's a matter of lack of resources. I think it's an intentional way to force people to use a system that makes money for you as a president.
What the fuck?
Right. And that's the kind of shit that I was like, you know what? This is why people say Joburg is Africa light, because it feels so like I can relate to what they're doing down there. Parliament happens, ATMs. But when I got to Zimbabwe and I'm seeing like true government like manipulation of lives, people live in rural areas in 90% of that country. So they're not being able to pay with this phone thing to each other, buy bananas and fruit and cassava. Like they have to have cash. They have to have cash. You got to pay cash to get on the trocho, the Kumbi bus. You got to have cash. These women would be in line asking, "Can I buy $50 of your groceries for you to give me $25 in cash? I just need cash. Please give me cash."
Oh my God. This look damn like the EBT.
Yo, I'm telling you, my friends got there. They was all, "Yeah, yeah, Zimbabwe." 3 days later, called a taxi. Was like, "Get us out of here. We ain't been able to buy nothing yet. We ran out of cash 2 days ago. We hungry. We can't pay for a hotel room. We got to go."
Oh damn.
And went back to South Africa. It's crazy. And it just was a quick reminder that, like, Africa is beautiful and it's wonderful, but African governments, just as European governments, can do their people wrong. Like,
Yeah.
this is definitely black on black crime. Like, it's not the utopia I was expecting, but at the same time, Zimbabwe probably has the most resilient, beautiful people I've ever met. They still smile. Great grandma's getting up at 4 in the morning to go stand in line, but then like the baker at the restaurant next door opens his place and gives all the chairs so the women can sit down while they're in line. Like the people take care of each other in the midst of a broken system.
And I think that is a testament just to Black people in general. We're a
Yes.
very resilient race of people. It doesn't
Yep.
matter where we are on this earth, we find a way
Yep.
to smile through adversity. We find a way to push through. So yeah, it's so dope that you get to see it firsthand. And I'm so grateful. You have no idea. I'm so grateful that you share these stories and
Yes.
you share the highs and the lows. Like I think it was one story because I'm gonna ask, what's your favorite? Where was your favorite place to visit so far? But I remember there was one story. You were like, "Hey y'all, I had malaria. Almost basically almost died," and I'm like, "Nigga, what?"
What
Wait, what?
exactly?
What is
Yes.
going on? But I just think it's dope that you're able to show the good and the not so great, right?
People need
Like,
to know malaria is in West Africa. Like,
listen,
if you
it's
don't
not a
know that,
game.
yeah, like when I
Okay,
tell you,
I don't know what to tell you.
you need to eat the neem plants. You need to
Listen.
chew on that bark, eat some neem. Like, I didn't know malaria was that serious, and I'm playing around,
Oh
being a crazy American. I'm, what my mentality was. I'm black. If these
no,
black
I
people
don't.
can avoid
No,
dying from malaria, I'm
no,
built like this too.
no. So were you drinking the water?
I mean, I was doing everything.
See,
I was
no,
doing,
see,
but see,
Darren,
malaria
you
is
lost
a
your mind. Let me explain something. I don't care how long you are in Nigeria.
yes.
You were born and raised here in
I'm
the
born
States.
in
Your
America.
body has been acclimated to so many other things.
Yes.
You've gotten vaccines for other things. Like,
Yes.
bruh,
Wow.
what? Because I
So,
literally was like, how did you get it though? Like, it's not,
well,
I know you had
malaria comes
shots.
from malaria is the mosquitoes. I went
Yeah.
to Cape Coast, and when I tell you, in Cape Coast, like there's mosquitoes everywhere in Ghana, but like Cape Coast, you would wake up and your mosquito net would have like 60 of them just sitting, looking at you. Like
Hmm.
Cape Coast has the most mosquitoes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And one night, I remember feeling like something's not right. I got bit by like 30 mosquitoes, but one particular bite was itching, and I was like, why do I feel like this? And a week later, and they say it takes a week for the symptoms to kick in. I think I knew when I got bit. Like one particular bite
Like
rose
Spider-Man.
more than the other ones, and it was just like I don't feel the same. And a week later, I went on a hike, and I came down off the hike, and I was hyperventilating, like I couldn't breathe. And I'm pretty athletic, so I normally don't have those problems. And I like was getting cold chills, and my head was throbbing, and I was just having all these emotions and feelings. And I was like, all right, well, I just need to go sleep. I woke up the next morning, still having the same symptoms. And then before I knew it, like my internal body was heating up. I felt like I was
Oh,
like cooking. I was sweating on every part of my skin. And I took a thermometer and I was at 104 temperature. And
nigga.
that was at like 3 in the morning. And at that point, I realized, oh, you're dying. This is for real.
Not dying, bruh.
I got up and started walking to try to go to the clinic, which was like a 3 mile walk. Couldn't even get to the taxi stand, which is about a half a mile. And the neighbor ended up seeing me and like drove me to the doctor. And yeah, they were like, you have severe malaria, bro. Sit down now. Let's get these meds inside of you. You're cooking inside. You need to get help.
Oh
And
shit.
yeah, man, like any Americans going to West Africa, please take those malaria pills. Please
Please.
take the shots. Like, I mean, malaria is no joke. And people in West Africa get it. It's not like they are not as afraid of it, but their systems know what to do with it.
Right,
My body
exactly.
was just like, oh, we are going down, brother. Like,
How long were you sick? I know you dropped weight.
oh yeah, I mean, I was sick. Well, malaria clears up as soon as you get the meds in you. So I was in the hospital 2 days, and
Mm-hmm.
then I got home, and I'd say about a week before my energy levels and like my body felt normal again. But like I had a ringing headache for at least 5 days after treatment because I had that much pressure in my eyeballs were hurting. Everything in
Oh
my whole body was in
shit.
pain, and it made me sad because when I got to the ER, everybody in the ward because it was old school shit. I was in there in the men's ward. It looked like 1965.
Oh
All these
shit.
people pushing these old raggedy things. I'm like,
Oh
Lord,
man.
don't take me out in here.
Yeah.
And yeah, everybody in there had malaria. Old men, young people, young kids. It was an old man. He was like 80 maybe, and he was just crying so hard because the pain in your body hurt so bad. And to think that 600 million people a year die from malaria, I learned all about it after having it. It's like, damn, we got to get a real cure for people because West Africa is suffering. It takes people out.
Shit.
I mean, mostly babies and young kids, but even the debilitation that you have, I couldn't imagine being 80 with that. Like that would
Yeah.
take me a month to recover. And there was
Right.
a young boy in there. His parents were like, yeah, like he's not gonna be able to go to school for like 2 weeks. And it's just, yeah, malaria is a real problem in those areas.
It
And
is.
the fact that it was Western medicine they're using in the hospitals to fix it, I'm like, well, just how you can have the vaccine, why isn't there a preventative thing that keeps people from getting it? And it just, yeah, it made me think a lot about the business behind malaria.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I paid about 150 US dollars for treatment, and 75 of that was just the medicine. But how can people afford $75 medicines when they're only making 150 a year?
That's
So,
wild.
or 150 a month. So in my mind, I'm like, people can't even get this proper treatment, and they're having to be sick for longer periods of time with malaria because it's too expensive just to get the meds. And it really got my mind thinking about like how in every form of healthcare and life, there's a profit before care in terms of how we look at people and treat them.
Absolutely. They looking at
Um,
that bottom line.
yeah,
What
like
we don't need a cure when we can just keep manufacturing treatment.
what if I was in Zimbabwe where I couldn't swipe or get access to that $75? Like I was just thinking about little things or like, how do these families afford this? I remember the young boy was that his family couldn't pay and the hospital pretty much kicked him out. And it was just thoughts of like, yeah, they didn't give him the malaria treatment. They did not give it to him. He was crying and screaming in pain. And they were just like, here's some water, but yeah, we can't give you this unless you give us the $75. And it just,
Oh
I was
shit.
like, damn, man, this world has so many, like, we got the answer right here, but the cost is keeping people from it. And it woke me up really fast. Like, as much as I enjoy my experience, I'm an American coming to Africa. You know, I've worked corporate jobs, making great money, and I'm able to afford, you know, my way out of these type of situations. But what about the people who live here who just ain't no way I'm coughing up $75? I don't have it.
Right.
Like, how is this the barrier of entry to healthcare? So it kind of it woke me up a lot to the realities of people in Ghana and the realities of people across West Africa dealing with malaria. Because
That's
you know
wild.
it's so easy to be in the Airbnb controlled environments. If you're in Osu or other parts of Accra, where you know or Lagos, everybody has money, and you're meeting expats, and you're seeing a
Yeah.
slice of this,
Yeah.
but you don't see what people 45 minutes in that village are really having to deal with to get basic health care.
Damn.
So it was a hard thing to go through, but it was also like I was really amazed at my body. I was like, damn, this thing works. Like when they were able to bounce back, it was like we ain't done yet. We gonna bring you back to life. Cause like I remember looking in the mirror at one point, and I was like, my face is sunken in. Like I don't feel
Oh
like moving.
God.
Malaria is a serious disease. So all in all, it was scary, but it really like woke me up to some of the realities of the people that I was staying around. I made great friends. I had 5 wedding proposals while in the hospital. Every nurse is trying to marry me off because I was single. And
That's what they
like
do.
they
I
do,
have a
I'm telling
daughter
you,
that you would really like. It's like, ma'am.
she is a very, very nice girl. like they were presenting these girls like a Vanna White style for The
Yes.
Price is Right. Like
Yes.
she is very tall. She is no, she can cook better egusi than Eddie. Like they were selling these women. I was like, nah, man, I'm cool. But it was beautiful. They did their best to make me feel comfortable. The doctor kept coming in talking about, oh, is the American surviving? Is my
Oh.
American brother going to live? Are we going to ship you back home to your mother? Like, I was like,
Yo.
don't play with me like this right here.
Like, not right now. Too soon. Too soon.
Too soon, too soon. But yeah, the staff did the best they could to calm my nerves. And even
What?
in that, like, it was just a warmth that you can't find outside of being around Black people.
Yeah.
So in the worst of scenarios, I still was like, I'm glad I'm here.
That's what's up. Wow. You lived 1,000 lives in
all,
the
all in
short
11
time.
months.
In the
So
short time that
yeah,
you've been there.
I'm going
Um,
back to West Africa. I think that's where I felt the most connected. South Africa feels like a place I could go kick it, have like it's like DC, like
yeah.
Black
Yeah.
people moving rooftop bars. West Africa was like, this is where you're from. These are
Yeah.
your people.
Yeah.
Um, you need to learn this culture. You need to learn one of the languages over here. Like you need to spend the time here. You can
Right.
go down there and kick it and have fun, but this is where you need to be. So I'm moving back. I have a house I'm about to rent for a year, and I'm about to just live in Accra.
What? What? So before we
Yeah.
get to that, of the 9 countries that you visited, which one would you say you had the best experience at, or is that a hard question? Like,
If
are
it's
all the
all
experiences different? Like,
they're all different, but I think I can answer it. Um, I would say I had the best experience in Nigeria.
hey, listen, Derry, you don't
And I'm
have
not
to say
gassing
that,
you.
bruh.
I'm
You
not
don't
gassing you.
you
It's
don't
correct.
have to say that, but I'm glad
I
you did.
but I will say I will rival Nigeria with Benin, and I'll
Okay.
explain both.
Okay.
So Nigeria, like I knew what to expect with South Africa. So I would probably say South Africa would have been that if I hadn't been already. But I knew what I was going to. I knew my neighborhood. I knew South Africa already. I didn't know what to expect with Nigeria. The Nigeria embassy was already a trip. Like
Yeah.
Nigeria from start to finish was such a like this is a crazy system.
Yeah.
And so they were giving us a hard time getting my visa. The embassy, like they make jokes about everything while they're giving you a hard time.
Yes.
And
Nigerians
I was
don't give
like,
a fuck. They don't care about your feelings, bruh. They
they
gonna tell
don't
you no and then clown you at the same time. And it's like,
clown. He be like I sat in line at the immigration or the embassy trying to figure out how I can get a visa because they're like, you have to be in America to apply for a Nigerian visa as an American. But I'm like, I'm in South Africa. I'm not going back to America before this wedding. I have to get it from here. And he was like, no, you can't. No, sir.
no side.
Yes. You can email him. He sent me an email of a random person that was like, try that. But like was joyfully telling me you ain't gonna get in.
Oh
And I was like, all
shit.
right. But the person that he had me email like one person's email, and this man had me like as a diplomat. I got a visa on arrival, and like they actually got me right. But it was just funny how the whole operation went. But Nigeria, from start to finish, first of all, the food was amazing. The
Yes.
people were like, what I like about traveling is seeing how people really interact with me. Like, and it sounds selfish, but like, I want to see your culture, but I really am staring and paying attention to how you treat me as well. Cause like, I feel like I don't know what country I'm specifically from, but I
Mm-hmm.
know I'm one of y'all.
Right.
And we don't have to like, you don't have to bring me in your house as a cousin, but like, am I just a tourist to you, or do you like actually see me as another African who you can relate to?
Mm-hmm.
And Nigeria, I got the whole gamut. I got called a black Negro. I got called all kind of random names, but I also got like I got to know how people really felt. They weren't just giving me BS, and
Right.
they were taking me into their homes, families. I stayed with my friend's family in Emo State for a week. Never seen the bush in my life,
Yep.
but when I got there, I was like, y'all talk about jungle and bush. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I've never seen
Mm.
palm trees that look like this. I've
Yeah.
never seen raw nature like that. And in the midst of that nature, 18-bedroom mansions and
Yep.
like people balling in a way that you think is like only on TV. Like
Nah.
you think these Atlanta housewives got houses?
Because
Them
these
houses
expats,
go,
that's what they go back home to do.
oh my God.
Build
Like
homes.
when I tell you we were in a humongous home that had two other enormous homes on the compound,
Yep.
then the uncle around the
Boys
corner
quarter.
had three more enormous homes on his compound,
Yeah.
and it was just like, this is some King Jaffe Joffa shit. Like
No, but it's real.
and it's not like we're
My dad
playing
got like
around.
6 homes, 6 compounds in Nigeria.
And we're not playing. This isn't just the show. This is really my life.
Yeah. Big
Like
houses, beautiful
big
houses.
houses. People call and be like, hey, I want my nails done. I want a new outfit. I want my hair done. And I want to ride to the airport. And I want all this done by 6 p.m. And literally can have people come to the house and do all of those things for you.
Yeah.
And then, like, all in love, not in like, oh, I'm the big person in the city with the money and you the little
Yeah.
peasant. No, like, you're actually my cousin.
Yeah.
But I'm from America and you know how to do braids and we know
Yeah.
how to work together. And
What's
like
up?
it was so beautiful seeing like a huge jump in terms of financial ability, but
Mhm.
no classism. It wasn't like I'm your rich auntie coming here and serve me. It
Right.
was like, no, we all Nigerians and we all want to have this dinner together. And we want I just happen to have a big house, but all y'all gonna come over here and eat with me.
Right. That's what
No,
we doing.
it was and if you want to stay here and earn some money and like you can sew everybody in this wedding party up and you can do her like everybody just worked together, everybody was hustling.
That's what
it,
it's
it was
about. We
it was
they be
so
happy to
beautiful.
see us too. As soon as you're like,
Yes,
oh, auntie's here. Okay, great. Christmas
yes,
about to be
yes,
lit. Christmas about to
yes.
be lit. Okay. Okay.
So, I mean, I got to see a very warm family, regal royal wedding. I got to stay with family in Emo. I got to be in like the bush, but I also was in Lagos for a week, staying in
Mm,
Victoria Island, being, going shopping for fabrics, going to dinners on the beach, like really kicking it. I went to a concert, like, so I think the time in Nigeria, I got to see in South Africa, everybody attributes that lifestyle to being the Western influence. Nigeria
right.
is not Western. That level of high end living is self created. Like
Yep.
it is very much their own way of doing it. And so it just was like, wow, this is what a fully functioning, it was like watching the Jetsons in black.
Yeah.
Like this
I
is what it
like
looks
that.
like when you come to a ecosystem that is all black It's not Western, and it doesn't look like America at all, but it's functioning very well.
Yeah.
People are making money, people are exporting, people are importing, they're working within domestically, creating opportunities and externally. The airports are legit. Like the system works.
Yep.
The system works. The
Yo, I
roads are
cannot
smooth.
wait to go back. I haven't been in 10 years.
Oh God, I'm about to
Yeah.
be back in December. I'm going
Yeah.
to Ghana and going straight to Nigeria for New Year's. Like
Of
you
course
got
you
to
are.
come back.
That's the plan next year, going next year for New Year's. So it's going to be.
We need to create an event. This needs to be a thing because,
No,
like,
seriously, it needs to be a
yeah,
thing. And
yeah,
I'm already sitting here like, okay, so I'm coming to visit Darien.
yes.
Like
Like we're
I
renting a
absolutely
house.
am.
Like we're having a shits and giggles. Like
Yes.
we're
Yeah.
about to.
We're
It's
doing
about
this.
to
Don't
be
worry about
crazy.
it. We'll
So
discuss. Like
Nigeria
that's
wins in totality because it just gave me everything. It gave me business, it gave me countryside, family, high fashion, life. Like I saw everything there. But Benin was the country that I think I've never ever felt so at home in anywhere else besides Benin, like in terms of a foreign place.
okay. And
Um,
I'm glad I love the way you're saying Benin because that's the way that it's supposed to be pronounced. Most people say Benin, and I'm like,
mhm.
that's
Yeah,
not
I,
it.
I think I said Benin once. I heard someone say Benin. I was like, that's like sweet music. It
Yeah,
sounds very
Benin. And it's crazy because the country of Benin, there's the country of Benin, which you're about to talk about. And then there is the city
the
of Benin,
city.
which
Yes.
is where my parents are from, Edo State.
Really?
Yeah,
I
Benin,
didn't know
Benin
that.
City. So when I was younger and I would tell people that, they'd be like, oh, okay, the country. And I'm like, no, 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 no. There's
Benin
Benin City.
City.
Yes.
And
So that's
see,
dope.
Benin City is on the map. It's between Lagos and Imo, I think, or where I
Yep.
was. So I remember seeing that, and I was like, I wonder what the connection is. But see,
Yeah. Benin is very, so if Lagos is like New York or Miami,
yes,
Benin is like Tampa
okay,
or maybe even Gainesville. It's not like it's bustling, but it's not city like.
it's
Like
hometown
it's
bustling.
hometown bustling. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
it. I
Absolutely.
mean, and I feel like you need a mix of that because you can't always be in New York. Like Lagos can wear you out.
Lagos
Abuja,
can wear.
beautiful. I mean, like there's so many other places in Nigeria that you can go to when you don't want that hype, but you can still get
Mm-hmm.
a very modern life.
Mm-hmm.
And so, oh yeah, I love Nigeria. And then when you go to Benin, like Benin, I'm from South Georgia. My family is from red clay, like
So you felt like
countryside.
you was home
Benin is home. Red clay all day.
all
And
day.
people like, even the way the old ladies plait their hair up, I was like, yo, this is my great grandma.
Yep.
And I met two people, a young guy and an old man who's probably like 80, but he looked like he could be 50, that
What?
looked so much like me. Like the old man, when he saw me, he just ran over, grabbed my hand, and just started smiling. He was missing all his front teeth, but like our facial structure, all of them was gone. But our facial structures, as I looked into his eyes, I was like, I think I'm seeing myself in 50 years. Like I've never seen a human being, and parents included, that looked so much like me. And
Wow.
he was a medicine man. He just started picking herbs out of his yard, put two in my mouth, mashed some up, was like, this is for your journey, for some good luck, for strong bones. Like, and yeah, he just kicked it, gave me some wine, some liquor. And so he was a medicine man that my Airbnb host in Benin was like, yo, I got some cool, dope people I think you would want to meet. And I was like, why? He's like, I could tell you're real spiritual, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna take you out to the voodoo community in this village. And this old man only spoke Fon, saw me and just went running up to me and like grabbed my arm, started putting herbs in my mouth, and like started pouring ancestral spirits. And we literally just kicked it for like 2.5 hours getting drunk with him speaking Fon, the other guy
Darian,
trying to translate, and me
You
sitting there just smiling.
there, you gotta be needing niggas just putting shit in your mouth. And
Yeah, man.
you're such a fucking free spirit. Like, bruh,
I, look, I just
bruh.
like, man, ain't
I'm
nobody
like,
gave me
wait,
this
what?
far for me to be
Like,
falling out. So
there might be more African than me. Like, what the fuck?
and
Like,
I ain't here for the African life. Like,
what?
I'm serious. I just be out. I trust African people. I'm like, I didn't let Western people poison me all these years. The least I can do is let this man give me something that grew out the earth and see what it does for my body. Like, yeah, I had some wild experiences, but it quickly let me know, like, I'm from here. I saw a guy who was probably 38 with locks. This man and I look so much alike. Somebody mistook me for him in the bar while he was there. His friends came up, starting talking to me. He was like, "Why did you change your shirt?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And then one girl was like, "Wait a minute, that is not him."
Are
And
you
they brought him
serious?
over to me, and we saw each other and was like, "Whoa." We took videos together. The man looked so much like me. And I was like, yo, I don't need a DNA test. I know where I'm from. I'm from here. I'm from at least 50%. My body has Benin blood in it. Like the food, everything about that place just felt like home. The way that people play music outside, the Benin music sounds so different than other countries. And it sounds like almost like salsa Caribbean music. I was just like, yo, everything about this place is like my rural upbringing. Like, this is my home. This is where I should be.
Yo, I feel like you are just living this beautiful, simple life. Like
Yes.
I'm hearing all the stuff that you're doing, right? And all the things that you're seeing. And it just seems like a lot, right? But when I'm as I'm listening to you, I'm pulling back the layers and I'm like, the simplicity in all of this is just beautiful. Like,
Because all of these are unplanned events. My me going to Benin is just to go. I got the Airbnb. Airbnb. I'm sleeping. Like I don't go with agendas because there's no agenda to have. These are simple lives. Like in Benin, there's a beach, there's huts, and there's a few little gas stations. Ain't a whole lot in Ouida. Now Cotonou is more like big, but where I was in the countryside. But in the most simple places, the most crazy, exciting phenomena always happens. Like that's where it's like somebody was like, "Oh, you like spirituality? I know where to take you. Take you to this person. Oh, you want to learn the pound fufu? I know what to do with you." Like people want to show their life, and where
wow.
it's so simple on the outside, you realize these people are living intricate lives, but it doesn't show like our lives show. They're not on iPads. They're not on phones. They're not doing what we think busy looks like. So they
Right.
don't look busy,
Doing
but they're
what we think busy looks like. Okay. You better say
right.
a word.
This is you know this is what we think it is. But man, when you really out there like honoring the earth, honoring your family, you can spend all day getting that fufu together, but you fed 25 people with your blood in it. That's something like that you did something today with your and you built your muscle capacity, you used the earth, it gave back to you, you fed your family, everybody's vegan by choice. Like, like you just happen to do major things, but your life looks so simple on the outside.
Exactly. Wow. Okay. Yo, my mind is blown right now. I'm sitting here like, do I need to book a flight like right now?
Yo, I'm about to
So
do all kind of back to Africa tours. I want people to see what I saw as much as they can. Like
yeah, no,
it's
you
just
and
so
I,
beautiful.
we're definitely gonna talk after this because this is. I feel like
Yeah,
there's so much more that can be done. Like more people need to see this, experience this, and just make that trek over there. So you're about to be in Ghana
yeah,
for what you say now is a year, whatever.
right. I say
Daring
that
gonna be
three
like, so
days too.
5 years later.
Right, right, right. I moved
So
to LA for 6 months, and 7 years later, I was packing up.
right.
So who can say?
So what are you gonna be what are you gonna be doing in Ghana? Like you
Yes.
renting a house? Like what?
I want to rent a house. You can rent a 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath, furnished home for about $350 a month.
Excuse
In a
me?
nice $350 a month. And you'll be in a nice, very well gated, protected 24-hour security neighborhood near the center of the city of Accra. Yeah, yeah.
What am I
And
doing?
these will be new construction homes, everything you need. And this is not some old raggedy rinky dink home. Like
What am I doing with my life? Like
these are the questions I asked. I was paying $2,100 for 700 square feet in downtown LA. Yeah. Now I'm paying 350 for about 1,700 square feet in a beautiful suburb. So yeah,
Jesus. Okay.
with a beach.
With a
So
beach.
yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
go back to Ghana and I'm going to make music and I'm going to sell African things online in the United States. Like I don't want to work for anyone. I want to make music. I have thankfully saved a good amount that I really don't have to work for the year if I want to just move to Ghana and chill out. My bills will be under $8,000 to $9,000 for the year. So
What?
yeah, it's very cheap. Most Ubers are like two to $3 for about 5 to 7 miles ride. You don't spend more than $5 on food a day unless you're like really being crazy. It's cheap. So I just want to live with no real need to earn and just enjoy life without having to worry about money. But I want to create and see what comes and blossoms out of my ideas while I'm there. So I'll
This
be
is
making music. I'll
amazing.
be creating products. I'll be, bartering and making trade with Ghanaian companies and saying, because a lot of things are
Oh, you about
amazing.
to be making like you trade like what do you are like do I need to
The
pub
first
something?
things,
Like what are you selling?
oh
Like what
yeah, the first first thing that the shea butter over there blew my mind in the first place. Like best quality
Oh,
shea butter I've ever seen. Like it touches your skin and it just makes you fine. Like there's no oiliness. It don't
did
have
you
that
say it makes you
khaki.
fine?
I mean, my numbers went up after I got to shea
Oh,
butter,
well,
but
let
in
him
my own
know,
head,
Darian.
in
Let
my
him
own head,
know.
my own head. But I was like, the quality of this for your black skin is amazing, and we need to have access to this type of shea butter because it gets old. And what I realized, there's an expiration on shea butter, and most of the stuff we're getting in the U.S. is old and crusty. It's just not at the same caliber of what I got there.
Right.
So I think there's a great business there, but there's also all these other products they use for natural healing and herbal use. So like
Mm.
tonics they drink that would be this particular bark shaken with water, and they drink this every morning. I was drinking a tonic in Benin for like stomach and digestion because my stomach was bothering me. Cleared everything up immediately. They actually have a herb for malaria, so people don't have to pay the $75 and the 3 days in the hospital and all that. But people don't know naturally how to get to these things. And so I would love to find a way to start exporting some of the natural resources out of Ghana and making them available to a Western market in a marketable way that we can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, most Africans aren't able to communicate to Americans from a marketing standpoint 100% in an authentic way. And I think that from a consulting standpoint, that would be a great place to work while there, just to be like, all right, let's tweak this to make it a little bit more relatable to an American consumer. But still, we need this stuff. Like, I want my mom to have access to what we were able to get while we were in Ghana together. I
Right.
want to be able to like get people off of using Jergens all day and find something that was really made for your skin and for your body. So yeah, I just want to start building a small business exporting high quality Ghanaian goods to the US.
I
That's all I
see
want.
you, a man with a plan.
I got a little plan, a little plan.
Darian, this is yo, your story is fucking amazing. Like I'm
Thank you.
glad
I
that
appreciate it. Thank you.
you share because you've definitely shed more light on what you're doing, why you went there, and how your purpose is ever evolving while you're there. Like you weren't thinking about selling no damn shea butter before you
Hell
got
no.
there last year.
Hell no.
And now
And
look at this.
like, and the thing is, like, I've had many people like, everybody sells shade, but that's not nothing new. How you gonna really make money? The thing is, I don't really need to. Like,
Right,
I'm not doing. I mean, of course, I'm gonna do the effort to make a profit, but like, I legit want people to experience what I'm experiencing. If
right.
it makes $50 a week, that's fine. I want you to know that there is something better for you. Like my skin got so much better when I got to Ghana. My hair grew longer. My body shedded weight because I was eating so much better. Like
You were just
fufu, you
leaning
would think
out.
I was leaning out, and I was like, but I'm eating way more food
Yep.
because fufu is heavy.
Yeah.
Pounded yam is heavy,
Yeah.
but it's natural. And so when it goes through your body, it actually leaves it.
Every
And
time
then
people
just
come back from Nigeria, if they're there for like 4 or more weeks, and when they get back, it's
lean.
like you lost weight, but I know you was eating.
Yep. And that's when I just realized a lot of the complications we have. I got back and sadly, you come back to family members dealing with high blood pressure, dealing with hypertension, a lot of the diabetes, the things that are affecting Black communities. And over there, they're taking herbs for those things. They're doing very natural healings for their bodies that are allowing them to not necessarily be taking these pills all day and getting natural health. And I just want to be able to do better for myself and my people.
Wow. Dope, dope, dope. And then the last thing I want to ask you, so what would you say are some of the stark similarities between Black people in Africa and
Yes,
Black
yes.
people here in the States? And then, of course, on the contrary, the differences. But I want to start with the similarities because people ask me all the time, and I'm like, y'all, we're a lot the same.
We're so similar.
Like you have no
So similar.
idea, but people don't believe
Um,
that.
I will say the first thing is Africans like to kick it.
Yep.
It don't matter which country I've been in. Like in South Africa, they have 3 day weeks all the time because it'll be like Friday's a holiday and we're gonna call Monday a holiday just so we can extend that weekend a little bit. Like it's always a 3 day weekend. It would be like, President's Day is Friday, and then Monday is the Monday after President's Day. That's a holiday. And at first it used to frustrate me because you go to the banks close at 3:30. You get there at 3:15, she's giving you the worst look and probably gonna still close the window in your face. And
What?
she's gonna
Because
say,
she's like,
you
I'm
don't
trying to
care.
go kick it.
I'm trying to go kick it. I want to go back to my family. I want to go back to my cousins. I want to go back to my friends. I want to go have a drink. I want to go see my children. Like black people, we work hard because we have to, but at the core, we want to be with our families and we want to
Mm-hmm.
have a good time.
Right.
Like I get the Western idea of everything's about money and we got to work, 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 and life is all about how much you can accumulate. But across the continent, I got validation to how I've always felt. Like we work because we have to, but at the core, we want to be with our friends and family having a good time. Like the idea that we're all here to just enjoy life seems to resonate more across African people. And that's something that like I used to think that here, because I felt like that all the way when I was working in my corporate jobs, but I was like, maybe I'm lazy, maybe, I'm gonna get there and people work much harder and think that's not the culture. But
Right.
every African country I went to, people are looking to find a way to get out of that job so they can kick it.
Yeah.
And I mean, at first it sounds backwards to capitalism, but it really made me reconsider what's the purpose of being here if all we're gonna do is make money. Like, where's the camaraderie? Where's the
Yeah.
neighborly
Where's the
love? Where's the
joy? Where's
connection?
the
Yeah.
happiness? Like the free will? Like where is that?
And I think, when I look at Black Americans, we bring that. That's why, our comedy is different, our music's different, like the way we go to church is different, our barbecues are different, our family reunions are different.
It's
Like
very spiritual.
it's very spiritual. We
Yeah.
connect differently. And it always is kind of like, I grew up Christian. So you think about a Black Baptist or a Black church experience versus a mainstream, we're always kind of like, oh, the Black people do it this way. They're more expressive. Like, and it wasn't the Black people. It was like, no, the country, the continent. This is how all of us are here. And
Mm-hmm.
I loved having a home for that where it wasn't the outlier. It wasn't like they're different. So I would say the self-expression and the idea of kicking it. I love being in Nigeria. I saw many girls with gold fronts, with blue blonde, gray, green
Yes.
hair. Like it ain't ghetto. It's not hood to be that expressive because that's what we're doing in our own homeland. Like, and they might have gotten that from African Americans. Who knows? I don't know
Right.
who what the chicken or egg was, but I like the fact that it works in both spaces. But over here, it's not considered negative. It's not like, oh yeah, she's a hood girl because of like, or we're not gonna hire her because of this. No, this is what African people do with their hair because we're colorful and expressive.
Right.
So I really love seeing how we really do express ourselves similarly. You
That's
see two
dope.
people arguing, I may not understand one word of Zulu, but you look like my auntie and my cousin. Like the hand motions, the way you moving your body. Like I know you're telling her off. I know it. I know you were telling her off. And I don't understand two words, but I understand the whole conversation.
Right.
So I really feel like that's a strong point of similarity. Our attitudes, our approach to enjoyment of life, smiling all the time, and like just being able to, like you said, find the good in the worst scenarios.
Right.
I think some of the biggest differences are really, and maybe just be like more spiritual and religious differences than cultural, but like West Africa is very Muslim. I didn't
Yes.
know that.
Yes.
And so there were a
The
lot of
outside people are, yeah, like it's very,
yeah.
yeah, northern Nigeria. Yeah.
Mhm. And there's a lot of cultural differences that I just didn't know about being in the world of Islam, and I had to learn. Even like eating with my left hand, I'm left-handed, so to eat with my hand, I always wanted to eat with my left hand, and that I learned was super offensive. I had one lady like almost take the plate away from me because she thought I
Yeah.
was saying the food wasn't good, and I realized like as much as we are very similar, um, there's so much more depth in terms of cultures on the continent versus what we have in America. We think in terms of black and white, Christian versus maybe Muslim. You've got so many different tribes, so many different cultures on the continent to where there are norms and social ills that you would have to learn for every region you go to.
Mm-hmm.
And we just don't have, I think, that breadth of people. We're only 12% of the population here. So most of our population, is exposed to one or two, maybe three types of African people, where over there in one country, you might have 10 different religions, 7 different languages being spoken, and all these different food cultures, and just all of these variations of how we show up in the world. And I
Very
think that's a huge,
diverse.
yeah, we're super diverse. So that was a huge difference. I expected to get to Nigeria and meet Nigerians. I didn't realize there was going to be like 85 types of Nigerians I could
Yeah.
meet. And those
Yep.
Nigerians are just as foreign to each other as I am to them. Like
Exactly.
there's
When
plenty
people
of
ask, and
variations
I'm
we
like,
can
yo,
communicate.
if you're not Edo or Yoruba, even Igbo, I don't. Outside of that,
Yeah.
I I don't know. That's like asking somebody from Miami, yo, so what you know about them people out in North Dakota? What do you talk? I
Exactly.
don't. I don't know.
Exactly. And it's
What? They
even
don't know nothing about. I don't. I'm
neither
not
do
from there.
Miami. And so, it goes to saying how large Africa really is. Like Nigeria has 150 million people
Yeah.
alone. There's 54 countries in the continent, and that's just one of them.
Yeah.
The US is 350 for all 51 states. So yeah, it's like we don't realize how big it is and how many different cultures and people are living on that continent until you really get there. So that was very different. I feel like, you know, as a Black American, I feel very proud to be, but I think there is a ubiquitous title that we have.
Hmm.
And when I got to Africa, I was just like, nah, man, you can't just everybody's just not Nigerian. You go into tribe next, then you go into region next, and like
Yep.
all of these people are very different. And
Very,
that
very
that was
different.
that was an eye opening and a kind of big difference from who we are, I think.
Wow.
Um, and also
Dang.
money, man. They're not as consumed. Everybody wants money because poverty drives the need, but the need is out of need. It's not out of want to build self-esteem through, not out of need to validate to be better than someone else. It's just because no, I actually just want to eat.
Right.
And we have there's a lot of attachment to money well beyond necessity and needs being met in our country. And it was like a very well needed awakening for myself to see that materialism can be nice. It's good to enjoy fancy things, but when you get to a point where your life satisfaction and your joy is dependent on certain levels of wealth, and other people can really enjoy all their life once the needs are met, like they're not yearning for anything once that bread is secured for the week.
Right.
So it's like, how can you find your balance here? Because this is not how I see the US. And I
What?
think that kind of balance would bring so much more joy amongst people in the US, specifically Black people, because we feel like, a lot of times we're on the bottom of the barrel because we are sometimes financially as a whole, but you realize this bottom of the barrel is so rich everywhere else.
It
Like,
really is. I've
we're
had to
so
explain that to
rich.
people
We're so
so
rich.
many times. I'm like, listen, I get it. I know you grew up in the hood and the
Yeah.
projects and your people's on welfare. This that that is the king's life in certain
It is
parts
kingly
of this
living.
world. Like I remember when the
It
last time I was in
is.
Nigeria and I saw like a 5-year-old walking to the bus stop by
Yes.
himself. I was like, yo, this kid is so young.
So
What?
young.
What? He's going by himself? Yeah,
Yep.
going to school. Like what? What
Yep.
we?
And they
What we
probably
talking
had a
about?
good 2 to 3 mile journey to
Yeah,
get
I'm
there.
like, you would never see that in a like 5. No, like I don't care how bad it is. You got an older
Hmm.
cousin at the bare minimum.
Somebody.
Somebody walking you to wherever it is that you need to get to. No,
You
like
have a bed. You have a bed
you
with a
have a bed to
mattress.
sleep in. You might be
Like,
sleeping in it with 3 other people, but you got a
right.
bed.
You got a
No,
bed. Like I slept, and I mean, I was amazed at how comfortable I learned to get on floor pallets. But I was like, yeah, there's like the idea of a mattress in some of these villages is a far-fetched thing. Even getting it here, but let alone actually keeping it. And like, yo, we have so much more, but yet we find ourselves complaining and
mm-hmm.
comparing ourselves to higher echelons of wealth. But you really see people are able to have fun when they just have their needs met.
Have their needs
And
met. And that's what
yeah,
I've had to explain to people in the past when people ask, "Hey, yo, Irene, so be real. Do Nigerian people really like black people?" Like, and I've had to explain that, of course, like, but
yeah, we
there's a
don't.
reason why you may hear people
Yes.
from, Nigeria or from other countries complain about American people in general. But if we're talking
Right.
about Africans and African Americans, complain about, what they consider struggle because they're coming from a place where they looking at your struggle like this ain't
Get
nothing. But on the
out of
flip
here.
side, having to understand that, okay, people here in the States is like, this is their reality. So they don't know.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a catch-22. Like you can't really pass too much judgment, but having an understanding of why someone from Nigeria is looking at you like, nah,
I can't
I suffered to
sympathize.
get
I
here.
cannot
I had to get a
sympathize.
visa to get here. I had to come to
Yes.
school, pay for
It took 10
schooling,
years to
work
even
as
get
a
here.
right, work as a
Hmm.
janitor. Yeah, I'm looking at you crazy because I worked my ass off to become this doctor or this pharmacist or this lawyer, and you're complaining about what have you. Like, and that's the thing that I've always advocated for, that having more conversations. Because if people knew, if we had an understanding of each other's struggle, we could help each other more.
Yes,
'Cause I do
yes.
think that there is a lack of communication that leads to this judgment and this, preconceived notions of each other. And it's like, no, just
Well, you
talk.
know, it's because what I see on the outside, the best way I can sum it up is like two cousins having two totally different agendas. And it's because one cousin came over for Thanksgiving and one cousin lives in this house. Like
Yeah.
Nigerians, when they come here, they don't come here to like have fun with America and enjoy Fourth of July and have the government take good care of them and treat them equally. They come here to
No,
make money.
they came here to make
They
money.
came here to
Those
make
houses
money
that you talking about, those
and send it back.
compounds that you were
Yes,
talking about, that's all from the money that they made here.
here. Yes,
Like,
yes,
here, like, yes, I'm here. I came to school. I'm making this money. I'm sending it back home
yes.
because
And
my money goes longer there.
it goes so much longer.
So
And
yes, that's why I
everybody
have 6 compounds. Yes, that's why
everybody
everybody
don't
comes to
have
my
that
house.
feeling. You
Yeah.
know that this country is an engine to make money. And I think that that is one of the mind shifts that African Americans will have to make, because we still want this country to love us. We want it to give us more than money. We want it to give us apologies. We want it to give us equality and fairness, and we deserve it. But the truth of it is, this is a money pumping engine that picks Donald Trump and people of the likes. Like it's a
Right.
machine.
Right.
And so when you start to ask the machine to have feelings for you, it's
It's not
a
gonna
weird
happen.
conundrum. Yeah, it's like asking the vending machine to have sympathy on the fact that you're missing a quarter.
Yeah.
No, you got it all or not. Like, we're here for business.
Yo, that's
Whereas
real.
it's the
That is
truth.
super
And
real.
Africans know that. Africans don't come here looking for the coddling that I think, and we deserve the coddling. Hell, we done been through enough, but we got to realize it's not going to come from America. It's going
It's
to have to
not.
come from us within. It can come from our mother countries. It can come from other places. But this is an engine for money. And I think when we see Nigerians come in and start making all this money and, like, hustling, it is like, well, what are they doing? And on the flip side, Nigerians come in and see us just chilling out, sitting around,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, well, what are y'all doing?
Right.
And the truth is, we're dealing with a lot of shit from our past, and y'all are coming in with a whole other perspective from your past.
Mm-hmm.
And without conversation, we don't know that.
Without conversation, that's it right there. Because people are like, y'all don't like us. That's not the case. That's
No,
not.
we see in the world from totally different lenses.
Two totally different lenses. So yes, this was,
Yeah.
wow. Yo, Darien.
Yeah, we've been going in, but
Yo, I'm
it's a
so
lot of good
enlightened
stuff
by
to
this. This
chat.
was this was dope.
I
Is
feel
there
good too.
anything
Like,
else?
yeah.
No, I'm glad that you took some time out to come kick it with me in the Giggle Gang. Before I get into what's in my beats, like, is there anything else like that you would encourage people to do? Like,
Yes.
are there some like quick tips, or how are you like finding flights and things of that
Hmm.
sort? Is just a regular Google search? Like, give us a little bit of
Um,
your secret so that folks
yeah.
can feel even more motivated to make those travel plans.
So my secret sauce has been the app Skyscanner, Skyscanner.
Okay.
A lot of people don't like Skyscanner because it isn't the most intuitive app. It has a little bit of quirks in terms of getting used to how finding the deals. But what I will say about Skyscanner, I always find super cheap flights on there to Africa and to surrounding areas. And I think that what it does very well, it gives you like a calendar point of view, so you can see, like, I just want to go to Africa. Show me flights for the next 3 weeks from my airport. I bought a flight going from Miami to Accra for $370.
What?
$370 on Skyscanner. My first flight to South Africa was 750 round trip. I found a flight to Paris for $300 round trip from LA. Like, Skyscanner has always been my go-to. So I would highly suggest that, or this other
Okay.
app, Momondo. But yeah, Skyscanner will get you right on the flight. Um, I think so many people will be like, I'm afraid to do that, or I would never be able to do what you did. I'm like, just think about how much you spend a month on your current bills. Most of us are spending at least $1,500 on car note, rent, these various things.
Hmm.
You can live in Africa for $500 a month and you will live as equal or better than you do here. I will
Shit.
say that again, and every part of it. Like I was paying 500 a month, but there were people paying 250 a month in the unit next to me, and they had 900 square feet versus my 1,500. What do you really need? And we were still in a very posh gated community.
What?
You can live so cheaply, and South Africa is more expensive than most of Africa. My homeboy was renting a dope one-bedroom apartment for $90 in Togo. Like my other homeboy is renting a boss ass house for $150 a month in Accra. Like there's people living your same American life for 1/15 of what you're spending a month. So when you
One
tell yourself,
15th. Jesus.
right, when you tell yourself, I don't have the money to go to Africa, 9 times out of 10, you're looking at that flight. When you go past the flight, you're going to spend so much less than you would typically spend on a vacation to be there that it will always balance out. You
Yeah.
go to Europe, you might get there for $400, but you're going to spend $100 a day. So you're going to still spend $1,500 by the end of your trip. That same $1,500 could be 3 weeks in Africa with no problem in any country. So just really like push yourself to see more. If y'all are ever interested in going to the continent, I mean, because you're Nigerian, but for your listeners, like I can't imagine how my life would be right now. I would still be sitting in a corporate desk thinking about another world. And I've been able to like see so much and do so much outside of my own imagination this year that I just would implore anyone who has the slight inclining to go to Africa to go.
I
You
love
won't be
it.
disappointed. You
I
won't.
love
And you'll
it.
be able to afford it.
That is
So,
so dope.
yo.
Oh, get the call.
But yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. And just do the fuck you want, man. Life is fun when you live it.
Wow. 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 That is so dope. Yo, Darien.
That's all I got. Like, yeah, I
you
feel like I don't have a whole lot figured out, but the little bit I got, I'm happy to share.
I'm so glad that you did share it. I'm so glad that you did share it. Yo, this was pretty dope. I
Yeah,
keep
this
getting
was
this up.
great. Thank you so much.
This was really dope. Really, really dope. Before I get out of here, I just want to let the listeners know what I'm listening to this week.
Oh, yes.
What's in my beats. I mentioned the band earlier, Future Band DC, and like I said, they dropped their album titled Black Friday, and it came out on Black Friday. So I love what they did with that. But there's one song, it's an EP, 7 songs, really 6 songs, including the intro. And there's a song that I fucking love. And it's,
Yes.
I think it actually kind of resonates with what we talked about today. The title of the song is called Self Love,
Okay.
and they sample old school song. I forgot the name of the old school song, but when you guys hear it, you'll love it. But yeah, you can find the album on iTunes, Tidal, and wherever you stream and download music. But like I said, the name of the song is Self Love by Future Band DC.
Future
It's
band.
really dope. And y'all take a so it's really dope. I think I think you'll love the song, and it's all about self-love, and that's what we promote here at FSG. And Darien just gave us another reason why we should self-love ourselves, and take our trips to Africa and things of that sort. So y'all check out Self-Love by Future Band DC.
Dope.
Yeah,
I
it's
will
a
definitely check it out.
yeah, you got to check it out. Like I'll send you the link to the album,
Thank you.
but I think you'll enjoy it. So yes, folks, that was Self Love by Future Band DC. Y'all go check out the album. It's a 7, like I said, 7 tracks, real easy listen, little DC flavor to it, a lot of DC flavor to it. Shout out to EY, the MC in the band, is my homeboy. Good stuff. I'm just listening. I'm so proud of these guys. I'm watching them last night. I'm like, they out here making magic. Like, I think music is, I mean, I know this. Music is
Yes. It's
such a
magic.
beautiful thing. It's magical. Like, just what it can make you feel, how it can make you feel. Like, the fact that music can take you back in time. Like,
Yes.
there could be a song that can remind you of a particular day in your childhood, or while you were in school or in college, whatever. Like, That's how powerful music is. So shout out to these guys because they've been doing their thing for like 6, 7 years now. I remember that when they used to open up for Black Alley here in local shows in DC, and they just keep grinding. They broke up and then they got back together again. So and they produced this EP. I'm just so proud of them. So y'all check it out. Self Love by Future Band DC. The title of the album or the EP is Black Friday. It's a dope look. So y'all check it out. And that's what's in my beats this week. Oh man, Darien, we did it. We at the end of the show.
At the end of the show. I don't have much.
And
I mean, yeah, I feel like I've talked the show's head off, but
listen, listen,
great.
I was like, I'm just gonna let him cook because I'm
This
over
is
here
yapping.
taking notes. Oh,
Yapping. No, Africa gave me a lot to chat about. But it was great coming home. So it's good to be back here. Black Americans, we got something special as well.
yeah, we
So
absolutely
it's
do. We
great.
absolutely do. And I saw you did the whole road trip from
Yeah,
LA
yeah.
to Florida. I
I
was
drove
like,
from
Darian,
Cali.
yo, I really want to do that. Like, what route did you take? Did you take I-10? Did you go to
I took
Southern?
well, I drove to California. So coming from Florida to Cali, I took I-10 all the way. This
Mm-hmm.
time I didn't take I-10 all the way because I wanted to go to the Grand Canyon. So I started off
Yes.
on a different route. I went to the Grand Canyon. I was kind of north of 10, but once I got to Houston, I got on I-10 and then I was I-10 all the way.
Dope, dope, dope.
Yep, yep. So
Okay.
it was amazing. I got to Houston, picked up some new artists. Meg the Stallion is my Beats new addition.
Okay.
Meg the Stallion. I heard her on the radio a couple times. Her new track is "Big Old Freak." It's not.
What?
It's definitely not on the same conscious tip that we've been talking about. But Meg is out here delivering bars and body
Listen,
with a beautiful.
you are ratchet. And I love it.
I got some good radio hits. Being in New Orleans, Louisiana, it was beautiful. It was really cool.
Dope, 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 dope. Well, we've gotten to the end of the show. Darien, thank you so much for chopping it up with me. You're freaking amazing. Um, yeah, I think we're done. You still there? Did I lose you, Darien?
Hello?
Yo, Darien, did we lose you?
I think so. I couldn't tell if the call ended or what happened.
It's all good. I got you on speakerphone, so we'll just close it out this way. Thank you so much, Darien. You were fucking amazing.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yo, you were amazing. Thank you for all of the insight that you gave me and the Giggle Gang, and blessings to you on the rest of your trip here, and
I appreciate it.
and on your trip back to the motherland. We'll definitely stay in contact.
Yes, I was gonna say we have to do this again when I'm back on that side.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm definitely coming to see you. Don't worry about it. We'll talk. But
We'll make this plan. Because yeah, I see a show being broadcasted live from Ghana.
Got
I see it happening.
I love it. I love the way you're thinking. So I'm gonna let you get out of here. But in true FSG fashion, go on and tell the people bye, Darien.
Tell the people bye.
Yes.
I don't believe in bye. I don't believe in bye. I'm gonna see y'all later. How about that?
That's right.
See y'all in Africa.
I love it. I love it. Thanks so much.
That's the only bye I got. Thank you.
All right. You take care.
All right. Take care.
All right. Peace. That's it. That was dope.